my WhatsApp number, or just use the platform and send it there. I'll be receiving it.
Yes.
Otherwise, it is really good that you made out a trial, and that is good. Yeah, so more to this. Had you gone through studio technology like before in when schools are not yet closed?
Yes, we had.
Yeah, and we know how of importance it is. But what I want to extend to you is that studio technology is very important, and it contributes to your final exams, because part of it has the practical section on it, whereby we study about clay, and we are given a task to try it out. We study about paper mache, and we are given out a try. We try it out, and we do a work of art out of paper mache. We have tan dye, we have batik, we have printing, and so much more. And basically at UNEB wants to have at least 6 artworks that are got from
Yes.
these from the practical part of it. So I don't know how far you had gone in terms of doing steel technology and the materials, because I want us to be on the same page, so that I can give you some of the things that can be of helpful, that in case you resume, you are well off to go and they present powerful and good works.
Yes.
As you had, so what had you covered in terms of content?
We had covered the principles, the elements, and we're doing some of the topics. We started on the what's it called again? The dimensions, I think, something like that. Also, I think we had started on. We did clay, we did paper mache, we did collage, we did. I think
Okay,
we stopped on cement.
cement.
We're going to start doing um tie and dyes.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay, yeah. Wow, that is the any depth you had really gone. You had covered a wide range of it, and it's really good in terms of theory that you had covered that far. But
yes,
in terms of also the practical part of it, this is an opportunity you can use for you to do some of these practical parts of them.
yes.
Yeah, for example, paper mache I really recommend, because it is very simple and you just need to get papers that are around you.
Mm,
So
yes,
in some of the works we shall be doing, I will want you to get an inspiration of the work you can do in paper mache. Then I guide you on simple steps that you can take, and you create out one project out of paper mache.
yes,
Yeah, we shall start with paper mache because it is you can access it. It's all about getting the wasted paper around you, and you recycle them for an artwork. Yeah, it was good for me to know that, because it also gives me a clear view of how we can where we can start from and how we can deal with things. But in terms of in terms of so you said for you do human imaginative composition.
yes.
Okay. Just a moment. Okay. We had an assignment about, we did something about the different materials for drawing. Not so?
Yes, yes,
Did you try it out?
yes. The one that I did, but I don't have it right now.
Okay, okay. Yeah, good, good. You try it out, and we shall be discussing it more. Just a moment. I'll be extending in my screen. I realized that I'd closed the 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 page I want to share. Okay, so okay. I I want to emphasize in technology that we uh, my internet is a bit slow. That's why it is taking long. It's taking long to load what I want to share with you. As I open up what I want to share with you, I would want you to let me know what are some of the things you really need attention that give you hard challenges that are headache to you, but it's good for you to improve them.
Um, I want more clarification on the the principles of art.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. The principles of art. That's good. Uh, and that is very very key because they are the foundations of art. Once they are understood clearly, they your way of doing art becomes good. The principles and the elements, they are very very key. So just a moment, I will be sharing again. Okay. Sorry about that. The internet is not that good, but let me share in this. Are you able to access the website right now?
Yes, I can, but I can't see your screen.
Okay, just a moment. My network has somehow got some bad behaviors, but I'm just trying to go through. Okay, yeah. Uh, what I wanted to share has not come out very well, but let me share my screen and we shall be discussing. You talked about the elements,
Yes.
so I wanted to share them from the site, but my network is not that good. I will just share them through the Word document I created. Hopefully we shall get better as and clearly understand each and everything. Though in this we don't have images, but on the website we have images and a small video that can give you an in-depth understanding of them. And yeah, the elements of art. First of all, what I want to let you know that they are the foundation of art. At our level, we teach them. At the universities, what you'll be taught. At the PhD, at master's level, you'll be taught them. At PhD level, you'll be taught them. So not because that they have nothing to teach, but they are the foundation. Okay, and they're very, very important for us who are doing art to have them in mind and in detail. We have to get to understand them. First of all, these questions will never miss in a paper, but it should be more beyond just having them for a paper, but also creating artworks in our daily living. Artworks may not basically mean drawing or painting, but also these can apply in how we do our daily things. So they are very, very, very key, and they should be on our fingertips. Okay, when we talk about them, they should clearly understand and even get to see them. Two, three, four words when we are discussing a work of art, they will pop out. Okay, you cannot discuss a work of art without talking about these elements. And so I try to emphasize them by saying that they are very, very, very important for us to get to know. And they are even very small, but when we get to study one by one, we realize how in-depth is it. And at our level, we go a bit in depth, but we don't go that much into understanding them better or more. But we go to a certain level of understanding them, and so it is very key that we get to know that at the art theory, the
Yes.
geotechnology, we are not it's not like a history whereby we have to write paragraphs. Okay, the reason behind it is for you learners to understand that okay, This is the theoretical part of it. So when I'm doing a work of art, I'm doing it with understanding because I know the theory behind it and how it can be applied in a certain artwork. So that is what we should know. And when you are doing any assignment of art, and that is art theory, please don't forget to put some illustrations.
Yes.
Okay, because they are very, very, very important for us. Uh, so we have the first element, but before I go to them, let me just read. You can read me out these importance of these elements.
The importance.
Yes.
Is it on the screen?
Are you seeing the screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Yes, they are.
Organ- Organizing elements equals production of an artwork. Help in description of the characteristics of a given artwork. Help in the analysis of the success or failure of work of art. Provide common language of communication in art.
Yes, and basically you have seen that. That's what I was discussing. That they are very, very important.
Yes,
And in two, oh sorry. Uh, First of all, they help us to organize the work of art. And more to this, the help in description of a characteristic of a given artwork. So when you're going to discuss the art, we are going to, okay, in case that you describe this artwork, you realize that you'll talk about the lines, you talk about the shape, you talk about the tones, you talk about the form, the structure, the texture, and color. Those are the things we talk about because they are seen in an artwork. And in case we are going to have a critique of the work you have done, or a discussion between the work I've done and you have done, we may have to use these elements, and it helps us analyze the successes or failures of a work of art. So provides common language for communication in art. So this is the art language. When we are discussing with artists, we may have to use this. Okay, we shall talk about line, we shall talk about shape, we shall talk about tones. This is the language of art. And so space basically is the empty place or surface within and around a given artwork. Within and around a given artwork. And basically here I mean that any area that is available for an artist to express him or herself. That is what
yes.
we call space. So when we go into negative and positive, can you just briefly read them to us?
Negative space is the area around and between the subjects of an image. Then positive space are the shapes or spaces that are or represent solid objects.
Yes, basically it is true that the negative is the area around that is not occupied by the object. For example, I can say where you are seated, you are occupying the positive, and the surrounding environment around you is the negative space. More to this is that every artwork shall have these two space appearing somewhere. And
Yes,
one of the things, as we said, that it helps us to analyze the success and failures of the work. Sometimes we tend to misutilize our space because they have given you a paper of A2 or A4, A3, and what you do is you draw a small object, okay, on the
yes,
space provided, and that will lay a foundation on us discussing how you have utilized space. So you can say, oh, the positive space is small in relation to the negative space. In other words, we are trying to see that the negative space is bigger and the main key in this, yet it is not the right way. So basically, as I will be discussing, or when you send me your works and we are trying to critique the success and failures in the work, we shall have to use these terminologies. And that's why they are very, very important. So positive and negative space is basically the area you have for you execute your work, or more to it is what is the way you have utilized your paper when you're making a drawing or a graphic design. Then its importance is that provide area in which an artist expresses him or herself. And this is two-way. The area you have placed your object that you're going to draw, or the area you are going to draw on the paper, the surface. It's very important. Then I want you to read me the second element.
Line,
Mhm.
the mark made by a moving point. It is a path made by a sharp instrument when its point of contact is made to move on a given surface. In three-dimensional art, line is a contour created when two planes meet.
Okay. Basically, before even this, do you have any clue about line in simplicity, how you understand it?
Yeah, that's the same way I understand it.
Okay. Yeah, it's a mark made by a moving object. When you place your pencil on a surface and you create motion on it, friction, it will create a line. And it is the
Yes.
basic of creating any work of art. Line is key because when we are going to draw, we get to realize that we need line. We cannot just bump away into shape because shape is an enclosed line.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what we should also understand here is that in line, it is different in three-dimensional art and is different in two-dimensional art. And here I explained that the contour, for example, the edge of the table is a line where two planes meet, is that is a line. And the three-dimensional lines tend to help us when we are creating a two-dimensional artwork, that is a drawing, because we tend to see where is that coming up in our work. More to this, we have thick, thin, straight, diagonal, horizontal, vertical, and the zigzag, spiral, radical lines. And to be honest with you, all of them are of importance somewhere, somehow, depending on what you are doing.
Yes.
Yes, so it is very important. You should not minimize them. Just to know that any line will be of use based on what you're drawing and how you are observing it. Then we have more to that is the hypothesis create shape. That is first of all, and it shows effects of light on a given form, and then it depicts weight on a given surface. It shows character or mood of a given object, stroke surface. It shows movement and direction. These are some of them, and at our level, they may ask you what is a line, and they tell you to list down its importance, or list down there the different types of line. So those concepts are very key, and remember, I emphasize this again that illustration is of importance in this paper.
Yes.
Yeah, so basically, what do you know about shape? Tell me about shape.
Shape is I think it defines like an object.
Okay. Uh, and yes, when we talk about definition, the word define, it really tends to capture what is on the screen because here it says it's a flat enclosed line. So when
Yes.
you create a line and you move it until you meet the first point, that is shape.
Yes.
And the more to what is not here is the types of shape. Do you have a clue on them?
The types of shape.
Yes.
Uh the circles, the squares, are those types?
Yeah, those are examples of the types.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I don't know that the types.
Yeah, basically the types you have the geometrical shapes,
Yes.
of which they are the ones you have been mentioning, the circle, the triangle, the square, the uh basically the circle. There are many rectangle. Uh, the list is endless, but anything that has well-defined boundary. And when I split it into halves, I get equal parts.
Yes.
Those are the geometrical shapes. Then the organic shapes, these are shapes that are natural. And you have an example of that?
The natural shapes.
Yes.
Um, I'm not sure.
Okay. We have a stone.
Oh,
Yeah, basically when you split it into halves, you realize that it's not equal just
yes,
because it has a rough shape and is not that uniform. And even the trees, you see the trees have a unique shape that some of them, that when you split into halves, they are not equal. Their movement is not even.
yes,
Yeah, so those are very, very key for us to understand. And when you are drawing an object, you should first understand what is this type of shape? Is it geometrical? Is it or is it organic in terms of is it natural? Is it informal? You get me?
yes,
Because when we understand those differences, we try to see, okay, how do we deal with these shapes? Yeah, so shapes are very key, and those are the two different types of shape of which we have given me some of their examples, and I really think we have captured this very well. And it's an area with well-defined boundaries. Uh, what I should emphasize on shape is that it is flat. The
yes.
word flatness is very key here.
Hmm.
Uh, then more to this, we have tone, and I think you have wide knowledge or understanding about tone. Please share with me.
I read the definition.
Yeah, it can be so, or you can first bring in your input about it.
Oh, um, it's like in like to my understanding, it's like the way let's say a pencil fades from like darkness to lightness, like that's toning.
Mm.
Yes.
Yes,
So
and that's
the definition says
yes, the division.
the definition says refers to shade and light. It's the lightness or darkness of an object due to the light effect. It's a variation from dark to light on the surface of an object as light falls on it.
Yeah,
Application of tone on shape reveals the form.
exactly. Yeah, so
Yes.
tone basically is the shade and light, the lightness or darkness of an object. And the main thing here is due to the due to the light effect.
Yes.
Yeah, so it is very key that light affects the tone we look at. And when you are trying to draw, should you understand what is the effect of light on this object because it gives us a form on how we can go about it. Then more to it is as I said that shape is a flat enclosed line, but here using tone, they have given us the concept that application of tone on a shape reveals form. And it is very important. Then we have value,
Yes.
just close to shape, it's just close to stone, but actually it is the same, but sometimes they prefer using value or tone, but there is a difference in them. Just read it out to us.
Um, of value
Yes.
refers to the degree of lightness or darkness of a given object. In three-dimensional arts, it is the amount of light that seems to be coming from the viewer of an art piece. The more the forms protrude, the sharper the contrast and the higher the value, and vice versa.
Yes, basically this is here I explained it more into three-dimensional art, but in three-dimensional art, but in two-dimensional art, we see that the value is the same as tone, and the difference here is the degree. The word degree gives us the difference because the tone is basically how your eye view the object in relation to the effect of light on it. But now value is the degree that you create on your drawing, the degree of lightness and the degree of darkness of a given object.
Yes.
Yeah, so it is very, very important. And more to this, one thing that I may not have said, but it is very important that when they are marking your drawing, these are some of the things. How did he apply from? You will see that some of it take 20% for you to
Yes.
get to 100. So one of the things they really consider is the tone and the form. Basically, is the roundness of a given object, the three-dimensional space or mass volume. For example, a pyramid, cuboid, or cylinder. In three-dimensional art, it means the act of building or making a given article. What I can add to this is that form is the roundness of an object according to the inner space.
Yes.
And I think we have that clearly that we talked of shape being flat, but form is round. So we look here and see that with form you achieve it when you add tones on a shape, and it is also very important that it is applied in that is considered some of the key things they are going to place or to base on when they are giving you some marks in relation to the work you've done. So it is very key. And then structure refers to the general appearance of an object according to its inner mass. It's also close to them, to the form. It is the build up of an object. It is the combination of different forms to attain the entirety of,
A given art piece.
yes, that is true. And what makes it different with the above that we have been explaining is that for it may be having a combination of two shapes or of two forms. Let me say that, for example, a flask or a jug, it has two shapes on it because the handle is another shape and the 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 cylinder or the round part of it is also another shape. So when you combine them, we get the structure of a certain object. Are we together on that?
Yes.
Uh, and then lastly is the texture. Can you read it out to us?
Refers to the surface quality of a given object. It's the roughness or smoothness of a given object's surface.
Okay. And do you have something to explain about it?
Um, Sorry, my internet is bad. The texture. I think it's the same way I understand it is the same way it is in its definition.
Okay. Yeah, so that is true. And in simple terms, we achieve this when we critically look at what is before us.
Yes.
And when we do so, we get to realize its importance to us. Just a moment, I want to share again because now my network is a bit better. I can now share content on the website. Okay, here we are. I believe this is one of the content. This is the unit we have been discussing, and here they placed the images. We basically looked at the positive and negative space. More to it, we looked at the types of lines. This is what I was talking about, and they are key based on what we are doing. Then more to this, we talked about shape. In addition to that, we had these following concepts. Yeah, so in simple terms, this is the video that is accompanying this unit. And please, in your free time, just watch through it. You will get an in-depth understanding about this. And more to what was not in the other context is the types of texture.
Yes.
Refers to the surface quality, with the roughness or smoothness of an object. So the types of texture we have the artificial, and from the word itself, you realize that it's just made.
Mm.
Then naturalistic is basically natural. For example, one of the example of naturalistic texture is the texture that we see on trees. And artificial texture is the texture applied on an object. For example, let me say you have a cloth, but when you touch on it, you realize that it has some effect that you feel when you touch. So that is artified, like artificial, is created by human hands. Uh, then we have the abstract texture, is basically a form of pattern that is done on a given artwork. And the more to this, I'm explaining this in relation to three-dimensional art, which is creating the real works, of which we are going to do, as I told you, in a paper mache. We may have to create some abstract textures based on what we have done. Yeah, so glyptic texture is the texture that is applied on a given article in relation to the material in which it was made. Yeah, that is part of it. Then visual texture is the illusion of three-dimensional surface based on the memory of how things feel.
Yes.
Uh, so more to this, if you go through here, you will get to see an in-depth way of understanding texture. Then we have color, and color is also very, very important. So you can read to us what you're saying there.
Refers to how the eye perceives reflected light off the surface of an object. It's a sensation caused in a viewer's eyes as he or she observes a particular object. When sight is reflected off the surface of an object, color is what the eyes see.
Okay, thank you for that. And basically, it is true that we are able to see what we are seeing because the effect of light is happening. And the definition, as they are said, refers to how the eye perceives reflected light on the of the surface of an object. The reason why they concluded that this may be the right way to define color is because people perceive the color differently. And they
Yes,
see different color, and for you are seeing it differently. So it's all because the effect of light on that particular object. When you imagine when you are in darkness, even what is white, you may not see it as white. What is red, you may see as if it is black. So Basically, the effect of light is very key on us get to understand color. And the more to this is the color wheel and the color types, of which we know about the primary, the secondary, and the tertiary colors.
Yes.
Yeah, the analogous, the complementary. So it is also very good that we shall be discussing them ahead as we continue having these lessons. And then lastly is us watching this.
Yes.
Please go through that content on the website. And since you have gone through this, you can just go into understand the difference in the images and also check down that video.
Okay.
Yeah, and plus that there is an assignment.
Yes.
And let me just open it so that you should see. So in this assignment, the requirements below, in this assignment, the questions below require you to upload text and images in one Word document. Below are the tools and materials you will be using. The phone or laptop, camera, drawing book, sketch pencil, and the colored pencils. So this is part of it.
Yes.
Just go there and they do. It has two parts. The first one is a theory part of it. Then also the second one is drawing. So thank you so much for being part of this lesson, and apologies for my bad connection. I wanted to get better presentation, but unfortunately when I started up sharing, it not come out well, but good enough we have got something, and I pray that it should be a blessing to you and make you get better in what you are pursuing as in education.
Yes. Thank you.
I wish you a good day.
Good day.
Don't forget to have it in mind about paper mache as our project. It will take
Yes.
us like 3 weeks to do it. It is a small step-by-step work.
Yes.
More to it, you should identify what you want to do, then share with me. I will be guiding you accordingly.
Okay.
Okay. Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Bye.